I will say, as the New York season has gone on, it's gotten less interesting to me because it is so stupid. I mean, the fights are dumb. I'm trying to think. They were just down in Anguilla. And I mean, they were, and you know what is interesting? My friend Andrea Lopez Comedy, who's so funny, she was saying, like, why is it that we're on a trip? They're on the cast trip, and they've focused 4 seasons. Now, the reason that is, I think you brought this up, is because Lizzie Savetsky was supposed to be on the show, but they had to edit out. So I'm sure they had to extend the Anguilla trip, probably because they needed filler.
What do you mean? And what do you mean end season? I don't understand.
Well,
what'd you just say?
So, okay. So what's weird about this New York season is they have spent 4 episodes in Anguilla on the cast trip, which usually never happens, right? It's like two episodes and then we're back.
Yeah.
The reason that we're getting that is probably because Lizzie Savetsky, right? We had to do an edit. We had to edit her out of most of the start, and then we had to edit the women in, right? So they probably had to extend the Anguilla trip. It's okay.
I think you're right.
It's okay. The fights are really stupid, you know.
I think you're right. It's not my favorite, but I'm going to watch it. You know what I also don't care a lot about these days? Does anyone care that Mauricio is getting stopped every day by TMZ and he says, Kyle and I are separated, but we're not getting divorced?
Yes, because I've been fooled. I've been dubbed.
You've been dubbed. You've been duped. You've been duped. I don't think anything is, I mean, okay. Does that really tell us anything?
Yes, it clarifies it. Thank you, Mauricio. Mauricio, in an exhausted moment, told TMZ, we're separated. I'm confident that Kyle and Morgan Wade have not done it. But you had Morgan Wade's ex on. Does Morgan Wade's ex think that Kyle
Katie Cannon
and Morgan Wade are using double-sided dildo?
Nope. It already got picked up by some press. Someone just, my PR team just sent me something.
What?
The headline says, oh no, yes, I thought you meant the opposite. Morgan Wade's ex from David Yanta's podcast believes her relationship with Kyle Richards from RHOBH is authentic. I don't know what they're spending this much time together otherwise. It's not publicity. Does anyone care anymore? I'm not sure I care. Do you care anymore about Kyle and Morgan?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You know what you do?
Blown. Yeah. I mean, look, Mo and Kyle, what seemed all these years wrong with Mo and Kyle? Nothing. They seemed like they leaned on each other. They were good friends.
I've heard lots of rumors about Mo throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? I'm a girl about town in LA, you know, and when I hang with my boys tell me things about Mo. I don't know if I believe them, but that's what the boys say. You talk about Michael Darby and, you know, dicks and money and all that. I've heard that about Mo, but what do I know? I mean, it's not from any, you know. Oh, and by the way, Mauricio is very upset about the People article. He said it's someone in our camp. Nobody knew we were separated. So it's an employee. And when we find this person, we will cut their heads off and fire them. Well, I would hope so if someone's leaking stuff to the press.
Well, good luck. The press never talks. They're not going to give up their sources. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sources. So this whole thing where he's like appealing, people do the right thing. Oh, fuck off. The institution of journalism has been around for 100 years. They're not going to call you and go, oh, hey, by the way.
Listen, there are ways, you know what? Mo should plant a seed, tell just one person at the company.
Of course, that's how Sandra Bullock famously does it. Lots of people do that. Yeah, I think it was time that they admitted it. And, you know, we've been back and forth about, are we being queer baited? Are they doing this for ratings? And it turned out to be true. I thought, oh, they're really working on it. It's going to happen. But I don't think they're going to get back together. And I'm depressed. I thought they were a real Hollywood institution.
Will we all be tuning in week after week after week after week to Tom Sandoval's podcast? Or was it just launched with a bang and it will fade into oblivion very soon?
Speak to me. You actually listened, right? I didn't have time because I was like taking notes on Bethany and Nene. Tell me, was it good?
I mean, look, I love the promo where he comes in, rips off the shirt, and, you know, the drummer, you and I know the drummer. I got to really focus on this guy's name because he's lovely and he's DM'd me before. The drummer comes in and he's like, Tom, you know, this is a podcast. This is audio. No one's going to see you without your shirt on. So I thought that he's like, oh, so the promo, listen, they're exploiting Tom's hot body. I love that. Probably the hottest body on Vanderpump Rules. James probably would be a close second. Schwartzy's doing okay, but you know.
Oh, I'm in love with Schwartzy.
I know you're in love with Schwartzy.
And, oh my God, he's 6'1", 6'2".
He has a very cute face.
Tall in real life.
Look, I wouldn't kick Schwartzy out of bed, honey.
Schwartzy, stay in my bed.
Look, Tom says, I mean, look, you and I both know to have a podcast, although Bethany's talking about the same thing, I guess. And I guess so is Teresa. So what do I know? But I mean, you would have to have some shtick, right? Like Lala Kent's podcast is not highly rated because she just sits there talking about, you know, Sandoval all day. She's like a real podcast. He says he was suicidal during the dark days from this whole thing. Okay. And I'm just going over the highlights. And he says, you know, he's really hurt that, like, when he hears Rachel say, you know, I was in this alone. I'm in this alone. You know, he's like, well, hello, same thing happened to me. Like, the world hates me too. And that he was there for her and is there for her. And just, he really liked her and he's hurt. Those are really the top line views. I noticed in the charts, it always starts with a bang because people don't realize how the charts work. The charts, how you rank on the charts is the change from week to week. So if you never have a podcast and your podcast launches and it's a decent launch, it goes right to the top of the charts because they're comparing it to 0. So if you launch a podcast and you have
all of a sudden 10,000 people,
right? But even if you have like 5,000, your differential, your delta is 0 to 5,000. You will rank higher than someone who has 75,000 downloads last week. It has 75,001 this week. The change is small. They'll still rank. So we'll see where Tom's podcast nets out. I have nothing against Tom Sandoval. Why not have a podcast? To Sarah's point, everybody has a podcast now. I'm shocking that it took you this long. It's another money grab. I mean, which again, go and grab the money. I mean, Sheena's got one. Teresa's got one. Melissa, Teddy, Tamara, Lala. Why not have one, right? Why not have a podcast?
He's currently ranking 157th of the most downloaded and listened to podcasts in the world. So
that's in the world. Okay, so it's not just TV and film. That's not a horrible ranking.
No, but like you said, check in 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. I don't know. I don't think I'll listen. I just don't. I love Tom. I really do. Like, I enjoyed the show so much.
You can't listen to everything, right?
I think it's and look, I loved Ariana on Dancing with the Stars. I look, you want to talk about a strategy? Whoever Nene needs to call Ariana's people. That's who she needs to call. Whoever has advised Ariana, girl has played it perfectly. And we sort of said, don't go back to Vanderpump. Sashay it into getting a job on The View of the Talk. That job wasn't available or she didn't want it. And she smartly came back. She smartly has come back to Vanderpump Rules. And, look, no one's had a genius. I want her managers, whoever is her agent, whoever's advising her. She's Dancing with the Stars. She came back.